car. Down on your knees.
In the thick darkness of a South London street, where the yellow streetlights barely illuminate the cracks in the old pavement, a sharp sound pierces the silence. A gunshot, echoing and reverberating off the damp brick walls. In that moment, the seemingly safe neighborhood suddenly becomes the stage for a tragedy that no one has yet understood. Young figures appear and disappear in the darkness, carrying something more than recklessness. An arrogance fed by the pulsing drill beats of social media, where each video of their exploits becomes an open challenge to their rivals and the police. No one here would have thought that a seemingly simple mission would open the door to an underground world where music, violence, and gang networks intertwine, creating a mixture that is both seductive and deadly. And as the secrets come to the surface, the haunting question remains: if the home videos are the ones that have pulled the curtain down on everything, how many others are unwittingly writing their own indictments? What do you think? Is bragging a power, or is it a death sentence waiting at the end of the road? In the maze of Woolwich's dank alleys, these 6 names have become shadowy figures that creep across crime news. Dave O'Ryan, 22, is cold and quiet, but one look from him is enough to silence those around him. He doesn't need to shout to prove his authority. His danger comes from the way he looks at things, as if he already knows the outcome. Karan Singh, just 19, has the naive recklessness of youth, a man willing to do anything just to assert his position in the group. Stephen Aveley, 28, is older but has slipped on old accusations, clinging to the gang like a lifeline in a drifting life. Gabriel Adepoju, 23, was once a shadow in small jobs, but is sinking deeper and deeper into the vortex with no way out. And finally, Roqib Ladeaga and Brian Adu, both the youngest in the group, are drawn into the storm of drill music, where every rap is no longer music, but a code for street warfare. They all come from narrow neighborhoods where the future and violence are as intertwined as the air we breathe. The sound of police sirens does not startle them. It is the familiar background beat of the long night. They were not born criminals. It was the deprivation, the promise of quick riches, and the need for recognition that turned their youth into fertile ground for darkness. In the bass beats that resemble the pounding heartbeat of drill, they find surrogate families. In the gazes from the virtual world, they find twisted glorification. And from there, the fragile line between game and crime gradually disappears, paving the way for the tragedy that is about to strike. In the maze of alleyways in Woolwich, where old apartment blocks are crammed together and yellow streetlights cast a shadow over graffiti-stained walls, the WoolyOs operate like a well-oiled underground machine, chaotic yet disciplined by the very nature of the streets. They are not drug lords running a transnational network with elaborate plans and millions of pounds of weekly transactions. They are young men raised in neighborhoods where police sirens and drill music blend together, eager to prove themselves and climb the underworld food chain at any cost. But that youthfulness, combined with their impulsive ambition and disregard for the law, creates a reckless energy that would make any established criminal organization wary. WoolyO's modus operandi is deceptively simple but brutally effective. They spread the word about a deal, usually a phone, cash, or contraband, and then arrange for their prey to meet at a designated location. When their target appears, the group immediately turns the meeting into a pre-planned trap. A half-meter zombie knife is swung, a handgun hidden in a hoodie pocket is pulled out in a split second, and shouting drowns out the music blaring from a cheap Bluetooth speaker. They don't need elaborate plans because WoolyO's strength is speed and ferocity. Victims often don't have time to fight back before everything is over in a matter of seconds. What makes WoolyO stand out is not just the robberies, but the way they turn each heist into an online manifesto. After each act, the phone is pulled out at the scene. The camera shakes to record the bullets lined up on an old table, each bullet engraved with the name of the opponent. Laughter and shouts echoing to the rhythm of the drill. In the dim frame, the face is half covered by a scarf or mask, but the eyes glow with arrogance and defiance. These videos were posted on social media or sent secretly in encrypted chat groups, not only to show off their power to rival gangs, but also as a covert recruitment tool, attracting 17 and 18-year-olds hungry for street fame. To avoid being tracked, WoolyO relied on a series of covert measures, using encrypted messaging apps like Telegram and Signal, constantly switching SIM cards and phones, splitting up the group when traveling or hiding in abandoned buildings to avoid CCTV cameras. But it was their complacency that proved fatal. During one raid, the police confiscated a member's phone, and inside, a whole archive of crimes opened up. Raps boasting about guns, messages discussing plans, weapon locations, even lists of warriors. One investigator sarcastically called it a voluntary criminal record, living evidence that the group had unwittingly handed over to law enforcement. WoolyO's activities, though small, were deeply embedded in drill culture. Their music was both their pulse and their map of underground power. Each rap was not just a rhythm, but a code for territory. Each hand gesture, each repeated symbol in the video, hinted at who would be targeted next. It was this cycle that created a never-ending cycle of revenge. Videos were released, opponents responded, and violence escalated. But that ostentatious arrogance was also a fatal flaw. Once the police got their hands on the videos, all layers of anonymity fell away, and laughter that echoed in the dark turned into accusations in the cold courtroom. Immediately after the deadly Aveley robbery on the 20th of November, 2023, Essex police sealed off the area and launched a massive investigation. And the first clue came from ANPR, automatic number plate recognition, tracking along the roads leading away from the scene, where a suspicious vehicle was recorded just minutes after the robbery, driving towards Woolwich. And from this number plate, investigators quickly linked the owner to one of the 6 suspects, paving the way for a series of urgent search warrants to be issued within 24 hours, leading to a manhunt that extended from Essex to South London. The turning point came just a day later when police spotted 19-year-old Brian Adu moving nervously near the scene, and during searches they found a zombie knife nearly 2 feet long and a mobile phone, which quickly became a goldmine of evidence, as it contained not only raps bragging about weapons but also videos of bullets with names of rivals engraved on them, and threatening messages to witnesses to withdraw their complaints, helping police to make the first direct connection between Adu and the WoolyO gang. Just days later, detectives working with the Metropolitan Police Trident Gang Command carried out a series of simultaneous raids on a number of locations. A flat in Abbey Wood, where Deferon was hiding, a house in Woolwich where Karen Singh was arrested, and an address in Charlton where Stephen Aveley was staying. All in the early hours of the morning, with armed police swarming the neighborhood, breaking down doors within seconds and subduing the suspects before they could fight back. In West Norwood, Gabriel Adepoju was arrested as he left a convenience store, unarmed but with a backpack containing multiple SIM cards and memory cards containing unreleased drill videos, while Roquib Ladiaga was arrested in Eltham in an abandoned garage, where the group had stashed zombie knives and handguns, with evidence including homemade weapons, ammunition, and cash left over from robberies. With each arrest, the police collected another piece of the puzzle, from conflicting statements to cross-linking evidence. Adu's phone led them to Singh. Location data from the SIM card in Adepoju's pocket pointed straight to Ladiaga's garage, causing the entire WoolyO gang structure to be peeled back layer by layer like disassembling a complex underground machine that was self-destructing from the inside. And most notably, the videos of their exploits, filmed in shabby apartments, old wooden tables, blaring drill music, became key visual clues, helping to compare with the actual crime scene to determine the time and place of the crime. The close collaboration between Essex Police and the Metropolitan Police not only helped track down the entire gang within a matter of months, but also showed how modern investigators can harness digital data, from street cameras to social media videos, to turn WoolyO's own self-promotional tools into incontrovertible evidence. And as the 6 members were taken into custody, the laughter that echoed in the drill video somewhere online became an accusatory echo in the cold interrogation room. In March 2025, the silence inside Basildon Crown Court was thick with a heavy silence as he began the sentencing hearing. The 6 defendants, Oron, Singh, Ayanlei, Adepoju, Ladiega, and Idu were led into the courtroom in gray prison uniforms, their faces stony, but their eyes still defiant and weary from months of detention. The prosecutor presented a series of blistering pieces of evidence, drill videos showing off guns, bullets with the names of their opponents engraved on them, threatening text messages to witnesses and GPS data leading to weapons caches. Each piece of evidence flashed onto a screen elicited angry murmurs from the packed audience, packed with victims, relatives, and the press. The defense tried to paint a picture of young men driven to crime by circumstances, citing their youth and violent background as mitigating factors. But that argument was quickly countered by the prosecution, who pointed to the defendant's initiative and brazen bragging on social media. When the judge rose to read the verdict, his voice was even, cold, and decisive. Dave Oronya, 15 years. Karan Singh, 9 years. Stephen Ayanli, 5 years. Gabriel Adepoju, 4 years. Rokib Ladiaga, 4.5 years, upgraded to 5 years on appeal. Brian Adu, 4 years, upgraded to 5 years on appeal. "Your bragging is what got you into prison," he said, his eyes sweeping over each defendant. And in that moment, all the laughter that had echoed in the video drill died away, replaced by a bitter silence. The verdict is closed, but its echoes still resonate. A reminder that in an age where every moment is recorded and broadcast, arrogance doesn't make you invulnerable, it just makes you living proof in your own record. The WoolyO case is not simply about the convictions of 6 young people. It opens a wider picture of how a street culture, born of suffering and a desire to be heard, has become a tool for power and violence. Drill music, once the voice of marginalized communities, has become in WoolyO's hands a language of intimidation. Every rap is a code for territory, every hand gesture a declaration of war. But that public display of power reflects a changing age, one in which justice relies not just on witnesses or physical evidence, but also on digital data, from social media videos to encrypted messages to phone location. The investigation by Essex and the Metropolitan Police suggests that in the digital age, what criminals share to gain notoriety becomes the most powerful self-incriminating evidence. The social impact of the case is far-reaching. It raises troubling questions about the responsibility of social media platforms, how young people can easily be sucked into the warped aura of street cred, and how the law must evolve to keep up with the changing pace of digital crime. The WoolyO case is not only a wake-up call for the South London community, but also a lesson for society as a whole. In a world where every moment is recorded, rebellion can turn into condemnation, and the light of justice can still find its way into the darkest corners that seem impenetrable. The WoolyO case ended in a heavy silence in the courtroom, where the judge's verdict was decisive and sealed the fate of 6 young men who believed that drill music and bragging videos would make them invulnerable. But as the courtroom doors closed, the question echoed outside. How many other gangs are silently repeating the same cycle of violence, just waiting for a moment to reveal themselves? Justice may have been served, but its lesson remains, that in an era where every action is recorded, arrogance is sometimes the harshest sentence. If you want to continue following the shocking true crime stories, where every detail leads us to the truth hidden deep in the dust of the crime, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think drove WoolyO to take this path? Circumstances, culture, or their own choices?